Welcome to AdultHomeStudy.com's beginning fractions, and this is a very quick review of beginning fractions. If you're in the virtual classroom, it won't be a recording. You'll be able to talk to me, I can talk to you, and we'll write on the board together. That's right, you and I can both work together on a fraction problem and do some practice. So come to our site and take a look. 14 over 9 plus 5 over 11. If this scares you, you're along with 60 million other Americans because what we do as adults, let's take our brain. Here's a picture of our brain. And yeah, smiling brain. Okay, here we have the front of the brain. When we're in middle school or wherever we learn fractions, this is where we keep the bits of information that make up fractions. Like what a fraction looks like, how to add a fraction, how to multiply a fraction. They're all up there together because we're working on them. Later on, when we start to leave high school, these move and they go in different spots in the brain. And then maybe later on, when we're parents and we've got a bunch of stuff going on, we don't use fractions. So we stick them way down here in a deep brain closet. And some of the pieces might even be thrown out, into the garbage can, and they're, missing. So, oops. But now, as adults, what we need to do is get those bits of information, and some of them will go directly, no problem, right back to the front of our brain. But there might be other pieces that we'll need some digging in there. So that's why we start out very simplistic, so that we can go back and find out, okay, we don't know what pieces are missing. So what we want to do is go over the whole thing, and then, we're clear on it. And the more you study, the better off you are. So you want to study for shorter periods of time as an adult and more often. So let's take the beginning of fractions and let's take a look at a pizza. I'm going to try to draw a pizza here. We'll see if this works this time. I often have trouble with that. Great. Okay, now we're going to cut this pizza into fourths. So we have quarters, right? Quarter, quarter, quarter. All right, now if you were going to make a representation of this pizza, what fraction could you put down? The first thing you want to do is to know that the denominator is the bottom number of a fraction. And the denominator means how many pieces did you cut the pizza into? Well, we cut the pizza into 4 pieces, so the 4 goes in the bottom. That's how many pieces the pizza was cut into. How many pieces do you see on the table here? Absolutely 4. Now take a look at this. 4 fourths equals 1 whole pizza. Anytime you have a numerator, the top number, and the denominator, the bottom number, the same, it always equals 1. This is what you're doing when you're simplifying. All you're doing is saying, okay, well, instead of saying 4 fourths, I'll just say 1. 1 pizza cut into 4s. Instead of saying 1 pizza cut into 4s, I could say 4 fourths, right? So we have now simplified this fraction. That's all we've done. So let's go back and take a look at this problem here. Notice here that we have different denominators. So what that would mean is we have 2 pizzas and they're cut differently, completely. So let's draw a couple of pizzas again and take a look at this in a more simplistic way. See if I draw 2 pizzas. Oh, yellow. How's that? We're having one with Alfredo sauce. There we go. And this is regular Italian. So we've got 2 pizzas. Pretend that they're the same size. All right. And we are going to cut this one in half. And we're going to cut this one in fourths. So now if we want to add, let's say we want to add 1/2 plus 3/4. That's what we're doing. We're adding 1/2 and 3/4. So how do we do that? We have to change the denominator. We have to change the way these pizzas are cut. They all need to be cut in the same way in order to add them. So let's check it out. Let's take this big bad boy over here and let's cut it up. We notice that 1/2 is the same as 2/4. So 1/2 is the same as 2/4. So now if we do it that way, we can add this together because we've got 2/4 plus 3/4. Now, when you add a fraction with the same denominator, you're going to have the same denominator in the answer because the pizza is cut into fourths. So the answer is cut into fourths. And then all we do is add the top. 2 plus 3, you got it, 5. 5/4. So did we eat more than one pizza or less than one pizza? That's the question. 4/4 always equals 1. If you had 1,976 over 1,976, that would equal 1. You have 97 over 97, that would equal 1. Now what if you have 5 over 4? Whenever the numerator is larger than the denominator, this is always bigger than 1. Because if 4/4 is one whole pizza, we've got 5/4, so we must have had another pizza. If the numerator is smaller than the denominator, then it is less than 1. This is an important thing to remember because you're going to want to pull that up in your brain right away when you see, you're going to say, okay, if you see this, you're going to say, okay, that's less than 1. If you see this, 14 over 7, you're going to say right away, that's more than 1. And that will give you an indication what to do next. So we're just now trying to understand what it is and how, so that we can visualize what we're doing, so that when we get to problems like this, that we will be able to understand what it is that we're doing. So join us on AdultHomeStudy.com. Come and take a class with us. It's great. Pay-as-you-go classes, so you only take what you need, not what you don't want. So we don't package them together. You just pick the classes that you want, and each class is $9.95, starting at $9.95, and I think they go up to about $11. So hopefully we'll see you there. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.